Hello, everyone. It's Charlton. Please subscribe to my channel. Tap the notification bell. I'd appreciate it majorly. So, I'm going to do my best to tell this story that I just saw this morning. But there's a lot to it about this sort of failed raid into Venezuela, where two former U.S. servicemen, I think special forces dudes, were were arrested along with, I'm not even sure how many others. I want to say eight others arrested. I'm not totally sure. And there's a number, I think they rounded up different groups, so it happened over the course of, a day or two. And I believe yesterday, Maduro, the president of Venezuela, basically gave a video press conference, kind of bragging and just enjoying himself, talking about all the various things, all the arrests, the equipment that was seized, and what they were up to. He says they were there to assassinate them. Somebody, an American, Goudreau, I don't even know his first name, who has a company. He's former special forces too, former Green Beret, a company that's based in Florida. That's the dude right there. That does a number of things. Who knows? Exactly. It's almost like what was that company in Iraq? These sort of paramilitary, or not paramilitary, security forces contractors that work in conflict zones and stuff. Whatever. I don't know. Who knows what they do exactly. But here's the company. Silvercorp USA advises corporations and governments worldwide operating in over 50 countries and based in the Space Coast of Florida. Our elite staff bring unrivaled dedication for building a safer world while striving to uphold the highest standards of compliance, quality, and integrity as a leading global provider of crisis leadership, risk management, complex project leadership, and project integration. Silvercorp USA provides services to commercial and government clients around the world, etc., etc. So, this dude, I don't know these players that well, but apparently this individual has ties to the president's bodyguards. I don't know what his ties are to him. They didn't serve together. The two U.S. servicemen who are pictured, and there's video of them being arrested. Those are the two right there that were arrested in Venezuela, as well as others who are either Venezuelan or Colombian. I think President Maduro claims they were all trained in Colombia. And but Goudreau, what's his first name, dude? Jordan Goudreau. He has apparently has ties to Keith Schiller, who is this guy, the president, the bodyguard of the president, who I immediately recognized only because, he's the bodyguard of the president. But I remember him very early on when Jorge Ramos was, and this is when Trump was just getting started, man. He was still in the primary, so he's been his bodyguard for before President Trump's bodyguard, before he became president. When Jorge Ramos was questioning Trump and giving him a hard time, and Trump told him, get him out of here. And this is the dude that got him out of there. I remember that was like one of the first major, where people were just like, holy smokes, what, and I remember Mark Levin, really laughing at it, saying people just see this like a hurricane, Trump, and they don't know what to do with him. And that was one of the first times, but that's where I recognized the dude from. So supposedly, Goudreau met with this individual, I think, as well as as well as others in the White House, I believe. Basically, I think proposing a plan to sort of capture, kill Maduro back in May of 2019. It's interesting too because his company's Instagram page, which is here. The last posts are back in May of 2019. This is all, I'm taking this all from basically the Daily Mail piece that's right here. I'll quickly cruise. I don't want to read the entire thing. like I said, there's so much different information that it's hard for me to kind of catch up here. I don't know a whole lot about the Venezuelan stuff, and so. But Goudreau, he openly, he has already put out a statement, or he's talking to reporters, talking to the Washington Post about this incident, and that he basically, that these individuals were there at his behest, on behalf of his company, to not to kill Maduro, but to capture him. Maduro says they were there to kill him, whatever. So the CEO of Silvercorp, Jorge Goudreau, told Washington Post that 2 Americans acting within a larger force were captured Monday, along with 6 Venezuelans. So there was a total of 8 arrested. Okay, and they're two of the 8. After launching an operation to infiltrate, and 8 others were killed during the roundup, or the arrests. After launching an operation to infiltrate Venezuela, Goudreau said other members of what he called Operation Gideon were captured or killed on Sunday. Said other members. So there's more in addition to the 8, including the 2 Americans. Goudreau identified the Americans as Aaron Berry and Luke Denman, whose names matched those on Silvercorp IDs displayed by Maduro. Goudreau, a former U.S. Army Green Beret, said the 2 men were fellow former Special Forces members, like himself. CNN has reached out to the U.S. State Department and Silvercorp for comment, but has not yet heard back. Juan Guaido, the opposition leader who is recognized by U.S. and more than 50 countries as Venezuela's interim president, denied any connection to Silvercorp on Monday and called for the human rights of those captured to be respected. I'm fairly certain that Goudreau claims that he was working with Guaido, but that's not totally clear to me, So, and there's, like I said, there's the picture. That's not, I don't know where that is, but that's just, I guess, a picture that stock photo they dug up of the 2 of them together, the 2 Americans. And there's them being arrested. There's video of that as well. And that's Jorge Goudreau right there, years ago, a while ago. I think they all 3 served together, or not necessarily alongside each other, but in Iraq and Afghanistan. And so it says before dawn on Sunday, officials say the first attack started on a beach near Venezuela's port city of La Guaira, when security forces made the first 2 arrests and killed 8 others attempting to make a landing by speedboats. The 2 U.S. citizens arrested Monday were identified as Luke Denman and Aaron Berry, both former U.S. Special Forces soldiers. On Monday, Maduro accused Florida-based ex-Green Beret Goudreau of leading the incursion with terrorist mercenaries trained in Colombia to assault Venezuela and try to kill me. Goudreau said earlier on Monday that he was working with the 2 men in a mission intended to detain Maduro and liberate Venezuela. Goudreau has claimed responsibility for the operation. The 2 Americans arrested Monday served in Iraq and Afghanistan with him in the U.S. military, Goudreau said, adding that they were part of this alleged mission in Venezuela called Operation Gideon. The aim was to capture Maduro, he claims. Goudreau is a former associate of Keith Schiller, Donald Trump's bodyguard. Schiller accompanied Goudreau to a meeting last May to discuss with security, the grammar on that's, to discuss with representatives of Venezuelan opposition leader Juan Guaido. Afterwards, Schiller claims he cut contact with Goudreau. So I don't know where that meeting took place. I think I said it took place in the White House. I don't think that's the case. But he's the bodyguard of Trump, and they met somewhere back in May, along with representatives of Juan Guaido back in May. And from that point on, according to, I guess, this report says that Keith Schiller, this bodyguard here, where is the dude? That's the dude right there. Okay, and I think that dude is more than just a bodyguard. But that bodyguard cut ties with them from that point on, from May onward. I guess you can draw your own conclusions as to, here we are basically exactly 1 year later in the height of a global crisis. I don't know. I mean, it's just a weird thing for sure. I don't know how successful they expect it to be. It's such a small group. Obviously, they're probably very able bodies, but it's still. Anyways, let me just continue. A shadowy group of, and it gets weirder, a shadowy group of U.S. billionaires led by Roan Kraft from Kraft Cheese, an eccentric descendant of the cheese-making family, promised support for the private coup, and also met with Schiller and Goudreau. Kraft allegedly lured prospective donors with the promise of preferential access to negotiate deals in the energy and mining sectors with an eventual Guaido government, taking out Maduro, and basically with the promise of American industry having access to the mining and energy industries and preferential access in Venezuela if they're able to remove Maduro and trying, I guess, to get backing by huge money. So he provided a 2-page unsigned draft memorandum. This is Kraft for a 6-figure commitment. He said was sent by Kraft. I'm sorry, that's Goudreau in October, in which he represents himself as the prime contractor of Venezuela. Anyways, so I tried to figure out where these raids are and exactly how many different incidents happened and stuff. This says 8 suspects were arrested Monday in Chihuahua, a village on the northern coast of the state of Aragua. The Venezuelan government announced the individuals were part of a foiled plan to remove President Maduro. I don't believe the Americans are in that group there. And when when you look on the map here, there's La Guaira. This is Chihuahua. This is where I believe, the coastal point where they were caught in the boat, which is also on the Americans, along with Venezuelans. I don't know if the Venezuelans that were killed were part of the arrest of the Americans. It's just not clear. Hopefully, you can live with my description. I mean, this is I don't even know who that is. I don't know if that's. I don't believe that's an American. It's obviously one of the arrested. This is of the Americans along with Venezuelans. That's an American, and that's an American. And there's actually a video of them basically with their hands in the air in a boat that's like a antiquated fishing boat. I mean, it's odd almost, but then their hands are in the air because they are, there's helicopters above, and they're probably about to be blown away if they don't have their hands in the air. So the video actually of them with their hands in the air is over at Fox. It's just on it's not at Fox. It's somebody's Twitter feed that is pictured there. But you know what? I mean, this photo here, that's of them on, I believe, this same boat before they arrested. I guess this was on their phone and they pulled it off there and put it on television. The Maduro, the Venezuelan authorities did. Because, I mean, I think that's him in that shirt right there. right? And they're just, I think that's that's moments before they were arrested, not knowing they were about to get arrested. And it's peculiar. It is. And I mean, I have some theories and stuff, but what's the use? So here's the boat of them, with the hands in the air. It's just a quick clip, but just so you get some kind of context to and I think that's that same boat where they're sitting in that picture, I believe. I mean, it's just weird. Like, what did they actually expect to achieve? With such a small group, it's the images of it just doesn't seem to add up. And I don't know. That's the story there, man. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Later, man.